Welcome to this tutorial where I will help you to get to grips with the fonts and typefacing in Photoshop. There's quite a few things that you can do with your font tool or your type tool, but it's all like separated and segregated through a few different panels and a few different methods. So let's start with the basics as you would find it in Word and other applications and the features that you're probably used to. So I'm going to just add a new layer, and then I'm going to click on the text tool, and I'm going to show you one of two ways how you can start typing. If you don't drag and just click, it'll give you your cursor, and it will be an open text layer where you can type as big as you want to, and you will not have don't worry about that overlapping now, but you won't have a constraint or document bound if you just click and start typing. So I'm going to delete this layer, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag an area where I think I want my text to be in this document. So let's say that bit there. Now we've got a text a boundary box for the text that we want in that block. We can adjust the size of this block by hovering over one of those squares in the corners or on the sides or bottom or top. You'll see the crosshair, the cursor changes to two arrows up and down, two arrows left and right. So we can adjust this, and this will not adjust this. It won't scale horizontally or vertically the text. What it will do is it will offer more space to type, locked on the size of the text that you're using or the font that you're using. That will make a little bit more sense now if we start typing. So at 83 points, that'll show you how big the writing will be. So let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's say about 9. Even a little bit smaller, let's say 6. And you'll see that the text starts at the bottom. Now that's due to this not being set to 0. So I'm just going to set that to 0 and start again. So you won't be able to read this now. So it's a little bit small. So let's select that and scale the size up a bit. You can either click on the drop down to change the size, or you can click with your left mouse button on the small and the big T, and that'll give you a live representation of what the font size is going to be as you drag up and down. Okay, so that's text font sizes. To change your text font, the actual font, you click here and you scroll through and select the font that you want. You can install fonts in Windows, and you don't have to close Photoshop and open it again to see the new fonts, which is pretty cool. Usually, all in the olden days, you had to close an application and open it up again to see new fonts that you installed. All right, so as with Word and Excel and so on, this alignment if you click on the center one, it takes it to center. To the left, it allows it to left. We are not going to get to the warped text or fancy ways of writing right now. We're just going to do sizes at this stage. So the next thing that I want you to take a look at is this character panel. If you don't have it, let's close this. Let's say you don't see the character panel. You can just go to Windows, Character, and there you will see that. All right. So the first one, you can change the font here. Okay. It's a little bit more involved and a little bit more let's say comprehensive than this area where you can change the text. I typically don't use this area. If you get to grips with this character window, you will be able to do anything that you want with your text and your fonts. So again, with your font size, you can left click and hold and drag left to right to change that font size. This guy, let's just continue with this. This is text. We are writing to show you how to all right. Now you'll see that the line spacing between your lines is a little bit too small. So to use these guys, you do not need to double click and or to select all of the text. You can just simply click on the layer of the text that you want to manipulate, and then you can start adjusting this. So let's drag this a little bit out. This is line spacing. If you hover over the thing, they call it leading, but if you hover over the little icon or the little worded picture that represents the cell next to it, it will give you a name or a description of what that is. So they call the set leading. So let's move that a little bit up. And take that whole, I'm just going to select that layer and just like the down button, move it down a bit. All right. So now we changed the leading, which is the spacing between the lines or the line breaks. This guy changes the tracking for the characters. So we slide this, you'll see it changes the distance between each of the characters. Let's just undo this. All right. So that's a nice way of, let's say we've got a logo. I'm just going to bring in a logo here to serve as a little bit of an example. Let's take my old logo, and let's say we want to put the word design in this font, but small at the bottom here. I'm just going to make a copy of this. So what I did was I dragged that text layer to a new layer, and now I've got a copy. So let's say I want to use that exact size of font, but have it, I'm just going to make these for a little bit of guides, but have the font stretch through this whole area without doing without doing this. You see what I'm doing now is I'm stretching the layer. So that's actually stretching the words. and that's not good. You shouldn't manipulate your fonts in that manner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Now you'll see that it stays exactly, the character stays exactly the same shape and size. It's only the space between each character that is widened. That guy will always give you an extra bold. So we've got spaces in there now without manipulating the actual font scale. Alright, so the next guy is this. This will change. This is going to manipulate the actual font. This is going to make it vertically a little bit. It's going to stretch it out vertically. You'll see my fonts are not moving horizontally at all. It's stretching out. Okay. 100% there is the default value of whichever font you're using. So if you think if you messed it up, just take it back to 100%. And this will do the same for horizontal stretching. Let's just select that again. See, that stretches it horizontally. Okay. This guy will shift the text up and down. The whole set that you've got selected, it will move up and down. And you'll see that the text box stays exactly at the same space, at the same place. This is without moving the text box. You can move the text up and down, and this will come in handy with the next part where we are going to write on a curve or on a path.